Balik Bayan with the Kuyas 2024. Study, work, live, and migrate to Canada Expo. This coming August 10th, 2024 at Fairmont, Makati, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Register now.
If you're an international student, choosing where to study is one of the most important decisions you can make. Let's explore why thousands of top international students choose Lambton College. We open admissions early and set high standards to attract the best and brightest applicants. This gives our students the time they need to secure visas, make travel plans, and find housing, key factors in your success. Studying abroad is expensive, but we offer among the most affordable tuition rates in Canada. We also support top international applicants with up to $4 million in international entrance scholarships. This gives our students an opportunity to keep their focus where it should be, on their academic learning and professional goals. Our programs are thoughtfully designed to position students for success. Many are 2 years in length and include co-op work integration, providing hands-on experience and important industry connections. We limit our enrollment in each program to ensure Lambton graduates have a competitive advantage in Canada's job market. Lambton programs are delivered in 2 cities, each with unique career and lifestyle advantages. Students can choose between Ottawa, Canada's national capital, and Sarnia, our main campus with world-class labs and facilities. We're a top-ranked research college, and our curriculum is regularly updated according to the latest industry trends. We survey our students and graduates and use that data to drive improvement in our services, teaching, and facilities. The result? 92% of international graduates recommend Lambton. Outline your goals, do your research, be ready to compete, and we hope to see you here at Lambton College.
Hello everyone. Good evening, Kuya Mikmik.
Ayan, good evening, Kuya Nikki. Good evening to the rest of the world. Good morning to those in Canada. Ayan. Medyo nalito na ako, Kuya Nikki. Nasa na ba tayo? Which part of the world are we in? Ayun po, mga kababayan, kami po ni Kuya Nikki ay together nasa Pilipinas po. Nandito na
Yes
mga
po.
kuyas.
Okay, this is the morning with the Kuyas, but for now, it's gonna be evening with the Kuyas kasi nasa Manila na po kami ni Kuya Mikmik preparing for our upcoming event po this coming August 10 sa Fairmont, Makati.
Ayan.
It's gonna be from 12 noon to 5 p.m. It's a free education seminar po. It's an expo. Kuya Mikmik as an RCIC will be there, and of course me, your education consultant. So we will discuss everything, the new caregiver pathway, how to come to Canada as a tourist, as an immigrant, as a student, as a worker. I-discuss po namin lahat yan. If you have any questions, if you are planning to come to Canada, I think this is the best time. It's a free event. Of course, it's information brought from people from Canada, brought from the people who are already citizen. Sa tagline po ng Sun-Cor, for students by former students. Yes, mga international students din po kami dumating sa Canada na naging permanent resident, na naging citizen po in a span of 5 or 6 years, no? And sa mga bagong viewers po namin, please feel free to share this also para marami tayong ma-educate. And of course, meron tayong bisita ngayon. But sa mga bagong viewers po namin, magpapakilala po kami muna ulit. Kami po ang Team Sun-Cor. Kami po ay isang education consultancy in partnership with Canadian Corrales, kaya nakita mo sa background ni Kuya Mikmik. Siya po ang aming immigration na sister company. And Kuya Mikmik, what are
Ayan.
the services that we offer?
Ayan, so mga kababayan, kami po ay Education and Immigration Agency combined. So we are able to process your immigration requirement to Canada. Let's start with the students first. Kami po, if not the first, one of the very first to offer free LOA services po or yung letter of acceptance po. Ang provincial attestation letters naman ay sagot ng school. So dito pong LOA, free LOA services, sagot naman po namin sa Sun-Cor. If you have your LOA and your provincial attestation letter, in some situations, then you are qualified to apply for a study permit. And then kung kayo po ay may asawa, common law partner na gustong isama, open work permit naman po ang inyong a-applyan para sa kanila. Just be aware that there's a temporary policy for OWPs as of the moment na kailangan masters and above yung mga program ninyo. Pero 2 taon lang naman po ito na temporary policy, or God willing by 2025 baka ma-lift na yung policy na ito. And then of course, once you're done with your studies, you can go apply for a post-graduation work permit. Once again, in celebration of Sun-Cor's anniversary, Canadian Corral's anniversary as well. Yun po mga common mga visa services natin, libre po ang inyong postgraduate work permit professional fee if you are to avail of our services po. And then yung iba naman, Kuya Nikki, work permit ang gusto. So nakahanap ng employer, we did the LMIA, we got them the work permit. Yung iba naman po, tourist visa ang gustong pasok kasi gusto mo na makita yung Canada. If you're inside Canada at biglang naisipan nyo, ay parang gusto kong mag-estudyante, gusto kong mag-work, and you could also transition. Tapos din, meron din naman pong mga visitor visa na gustong mag-extend. So ito yung mga visa extensions or mga permit extensions para dun sa mga nag-aral tapos gusto pa mag-take ng extra program ko para lang ma-maximize nila yung up to 3 years na PGWP po. And of course, there's express entry, the branches of express, subcategories of express entry like Canadian Experience Class, Federal Skilled Workers, Skilled Trades, and provincial nomination. We evaluate your profile. Saan kayo magka-qualify for this? And then, kung kayo po ay PR na at gusto nyong kasama ninyo ang inyong mga magulang ng matagalan, 5 years na stay, isang bagsak, doon po tayo sa super visa naman para matulungan kayo mag-alaga sa mga anak ninyo para kayo makafocus sa career. And then kung ayaw nyo mag-aral, ayaw nyo magtrabaho, kayo ay may malaking budget or puhunan at gusto nyo diretso mag-work, doon po tayo sa, diretso magnegosyo. So yung mga investor, entrepreneurial streams ang ating pwedeng pasukan. And kung kayo naman po ay going back to working, nakahanap kayo ng employer or meron na kayong employer, meron na kayong LMIA, work permit na po. And then ito, update lang natin to next time. Caregiver pathways na po. The home child care provider and home support worker program has recently closed. The 5-year pilot is done. So pinapa-PR na lang yung mga nakapasok. For those new to the program, there would be a new caregiver program that's proposed na landed PR na po ang caregiver. So very exciting. Hopefully by August we get more information para ma-share natin sa ating event. And then ultimately, if you want to become a Canadian citizen like myself and Kuya Nikki and our guest, dito po tayo sa citizenship process. That would be the final destination para maging Canadian passport holder na rin kayo.
And of course, bro, gigreet muna natin sa lahat ng ating mga bagong dating po sa Canada. For those who are newcomers po, welcome to Canada.
Yes.
Yung mga magsa-start pa lang sa intake nila by September or October, no? Welcome po, and in preparation po, maganda po yung dating ninyo kasi it's summer. You can enjoy the weather po, no?
Yes.
Mapasang sulok mo kayo ng Canada, from British Columbia to Alberta to Saskatchewan, Ontario, Manitoba, sa Atlantic region po, no? Enjoy the time while wala pa kayong pasok. As a reminder, bro, what are the things that they are not supposed to do before their class starts? Para lang alam natin.
Ayan, so kung kayo po ay dumating na ng Canada, bihira naman yung dumating ngayon tapos kinabukasan na yung school. Normally dumadating kayo mga 30 days, for example, before the school starts to get yourself, ano ba yung term doon, Kuya Nikki, acclimated or get yourself familiar with the environment, the weather, establish the routines of the children. tandaan po natin ang international student, pwede lang magsimula ang part-time work pag nagsimula na po ang school. So, it doesn't stop you from applying, but keep in mind that when you start working on that part-time job of yours, um, make sure po na nag-start na rin yung school ninyo. Remember, as an
Yes.
international student, you're coming as a student, not as a worker. So your priority has to be your studies, of course. And then you can reap the rewards of your studies once you start working naman. At ang kagandahan, Kuya Nikki, sa ating bisita ngayon, maaga makakasimula mag-work ang mga estudyante. Ayan.
Ayan. And of course, just a reminder po, once you arrive in Canada, please do settle your SIN, tinatawag na SIN, o tsaka yung bangko po ninyo, yung GIC.
Ayan.
Please don't forget to settle them. And of course, yung mga schools na mga bata, if they are 4 years old and above, they're
School
expected
age
to go
children.
school age. Yeah. So make sure po to reach out sa school board po. Huwag na po kayong dumaan sa school directly. Tumawag na po kayo sa school board kung saan kayo na city and they will guide you po. What are the things needed? Ayun. Of course, huwag na nating patagalin. We would like to please help me welcome our visitor for today from Lambton College. He is the International Recruitment Advisor. And of course, we have the same birthday. Please help me welcome Eric Walker. There you go.
Hi, Nikki. Hi, Michael.
Eric.
Thank you for having me.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. How's everything? Are you in Canada right now?
I am, yes. I'm at our main campus here in Sarnia today.
There you go. This is more better view.
There we go.
Okay, so how's the weather in Sarnia?
Today, I think it's supposed to rain, but it's been pretty warm and sunny for most of the summer so far. So we've been really enjoying days at the lake, spending lots of time outside.
Wow. In the Philippines, last week there was a typhoon.
There was a typhoon. There was flooding. I was lucky not to experience it, but I saw the videos. Cars were floating, so that was something reminiscent of the Philippines. But everyone, a majority of the people are safe, so that's good news. Eric, if you get to see the pictures, some people actually turned the streets to a resort. They had their floaties, music going on, so that's where you could see the resiliency of the Filipino people, that they always find ways to enjoy what's happening to their
Don't worry,
environment.
Eric, we have about 25 to 30 typhoons a year, so we're used to it.
Nothing you haven't seen before.
Yeah, not like in Canada. It was like they call it a storm, a rainstorm, something like that. But it was just like 30 minutes. That was it. And I told my friend, my Canadian friend, that's nothing in the Philippines.
Oh yeah.
It's just
you'll get a rainfall warning in Canada for more than like 5 centimeters of rain. You get a warning about it.
Wow. But Canada is Canada. It's one of the coldest country, and of course, it has 4 seasons. We have the winter, summer, spring, and fall. So of course, that's also is patterned on the intake. So intake means start of the semester. So to further discuss about Lambton College, we're gonna give the floor to Eric so that he can share more. There's a lot of updates, and of course, I'm excited to hear it because this is our first, I think, our first webinar for Lambton College for this year.
I think you're right.
Okay.
Yes.
And
All right.
there you go, Eric.
All right. Well, with that, I'll get started. Thank you, Nikki and Michael, for welcoming me this morning. Happy to be presenting on behalf of Lambton College. Another fun fact is I started working at Lambton College about 3 years ago, and my first international business trip was actually to the Philippines with Nikki and Michael, where we hosted a few sessions in Manila and Cebu. So they were the first people who introduced me to the Philippines, and now I've been there 3 times since then. So I'm very, very happy to be again presenting to students from the Philippines. We have a great intake of Filipino students here at Lambton College, and for you prospective students, hopefully I can provide some information today that will help you with making a decision. And then if at the end there's any questions I haven't answered that you want to ask, I'd be happy to help you with those as well. So I'll get started on the presentation. I do like to start by just letting you know that we are all across all different social media channels. So if you're looking for more information beyond today, I really recommend checking out Lambton International on YouTube. We have videos on there from former students, from our faculty. We have footage of our campuses. And there's just, it sort of brings the campus to life beyond what I can show you in pictures and explain. So if you're looking for more information after this, I would say check out our YouTube channel. You can follow us along on Instagram, and we'll provide information on new programs. Any updates that come from the IRCC, we can update you on there as well. We'll update when new intakes are opening. So any information about Lambton College will be updated on our social media channels as well. Good place to follow along. So why Canada? I know a lot of changes have been happening with the IRCC rules and regulations in Canada, and it's sort of created some doubt for students in terms of if they want to study in Canada. But I still firmly believe, and maybe I'm biased, but I mean, I see our students every day and I can see how much they enjoy being here and studying and living in Canada. Canada is still the third safest country in the world. We have a very high quality of life. Students who graduate from our public colleges, so Lambton College is a public college at both our Sarnia and our Ottawa campus, and graduates from those two campuses will still qualify for the 3-year postgraduate work permit. And another good reason to come to Canada is right now we have 2.7 million workers in Canada that are under the age of 24 and 4.4 million over the age 55 and older. So this is part of the reason why we have had so many international students coming into Canada, is to sort of replace our aging workforce, because the baby boomer generation has been the largest generation ever in Canada. And now every year, tens of thousands of people from this generation are retiring. And we simply don't have the workforce and the population to make up for it domestically. So we're looking for skilled workers from all over the world. So we're still looking to improve those numbers and be able to replace our aging workforce, meaning still a great time to come to Canada, even though the number of international students coming in will now be lower than it was in the past with the new student cap. This is there to help new students come and to give them more opportunities once they arrive. So still, I think now, next year, amazing time still to come to Canada. And we are one of the fastest growing countries in the G7. So the second highest GDP growth. We're still growing every single year. And again, Canada is a massive country. Lots of space here still for us to grow and improve and build our economy up. A little bit about Lambton. So we are one of the oldest public colleges in Ontario, established in 1966. This photo on the right here is actually the building I am in right now. That's our main Sarnia campus. So this is, again, where Lambton College all began. We currently have 2 unique study locations. So one being in Sarnia, Ontario, which I'll tell you more about shortly, and then another one in the capital of Canada in Ottawa, Ontario. We are a top 5 research college, and we specialize in 2-year programs. And a little bit more about the opportunity that can await you in Canada. We do have a world-class public education system, so we have many top-ranking colleges and universities in the world. In the first quarter of 2024, we had 649,000 job vacancies, and we offer students the opportunity to both study and work. So students currently can work 24 hours part-time during their studies, and then during their academic breaks, they can work full-time as well. And then, as I mentioned earlier, they can get that postgraduate work permit eligibility for up to 3 years. By the numbers of Lambton College, we have students from across 70 different countries, over 9,000 international students. In 2023, if I remember correctly, we had upwards of 800 Filipino students enrolled across our campuses at Lambton College. 85% of our programs are at the postgraduate level, meaning students who already have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree come and they take a postgraduate program. And then for younger students coming out of grade 12, we do have options for them at the diploma and undergraduate level, only making up about 15% of our programs. And another good stat about Lambton College, we do try and make sure we're taking and enrolling students that we think have the best chance of being successful in Canada. And this is reflected by us having the highest visa approval rate amongst all Ontario public colleges. And this has been for a few years now, so it sort of reflects our commitment to only admitting the best and brightest from around the world to Lambton College. So our main campus, as I mentioned, is in Sarnia, Ontario. And I know a lot of people maybe never heard of Sarnia, Ontario, as it's a smaller city within Canada, and it's about a 3-hour drive from Toronto. So it's a little out of the way from the major GTA area, but it's not so far. Like 3 hours, you can really, if you left at 8 in the morning, you'd be there at 11 a.m. It's not so far, but we still recommend, obviously, to students who study in Sarnia to live there as well. This campus has a 96% graduate satisfaction rate, so one of the highest across all Ontario colleges. And Sarnia is a very safe, friendly, and affordable city. So one of the main selling points, I think, for Sarnia is a lot of concerns can come up for international students around cost of living in Canada. And I can't lie, like the cost of living in Canada has been going up, and it is quite expensive in terms of like the global standard. But when you do come to smaller cities in Canada, the cost of living is a lot different than if you go to one of the major metro areas. So once you get outside of the Greater Toronto area, outside of, Vancouver, Montreal, all the major cities in Canada, and go to maybe smaller cities like Sarnia, Windsor, Sudbury, the cost of living can come down significantly. So it's one of the advantages to living in a small city. And a lot of the tuition fees at colleges in smaller cities are also considerably less as well. Here are some photos of our Sarnia campus. So we have the newly finished Nova Chemicals Health and Research Center that opened in 2019. We have many different sports teams on campus. We have basketball, soccer, volleyball, I believe, an esports gaming team. And we have a brand new gym as well. So you can see in the top right corner, many students go there and they take in a basketball game. It's kind of exciting. I know in the Philippines, basketball is very popular. So it's something fun that you can do on campus as the season basically runs from October all the way through to February. And then there's a picture of our main atrium as well. We also have a brand new fitness complex for students who are into working out. They can get a membership there as a part of their tuition fees. Here's some more pictures from around the Sarnia community. So we are located on one of the Great Lakes, Lake Huron, one of the largest freshwater lakes in the world. And we're also located on the border with the United States. So you can see in the bottom right picture there, that's the Blue Water Bridge that connects Sarnia to Port Huron in the United States. And then in the bottom left, we actually have a picture of the hockey arena that's located right here on the Lambton College campus where the local hockey team plays, the Sarnia Sting. They get about 4,000 fans to every game, and it's a cool way that students can further experience Canadian culture while they're right here on campus. And also you can see in the summertime, like especially in the months right now, July and August, temperatures are often upwards of 30 degrees Celsius. So you can go down to the beach. We have beautiful beaches here and go swimming in Lake Huron. I've probably already been to the beach 9 or 10 times this year. It's a really, not too many cities in Canada have access to a beautiful beach like that. So it's another benefit to living in Sarnia. And if you're curious where Sarnia is on a map, you can see here where it is relative to Toronto. So the nearest major airport in Canada would be Toronto. Most students who fly in from the Philippines would come either on the direct flight on Philippine Air or connect through somewhere else and then still fly into Toronto. And then they would take either the train or the bus or a private car and take about a 2.5-hour journey from the airport to Sarnia. We can see London, Ontario there as well. That's about a 1-hour drive from Sarnia. And then that gray line on the left is the border with the United States. A lot of students also have questions about availability of part-time jobs in Sarnia. And while there's a lesser amount of part-time jobs in comparison to bigger cities, there's less students who are going to be competing for them, right? So we don't have a huge population of young people in Sarnia. So most of the part-time and service work is done by college students and high school students. These examples I actually took just, I think, a week ago. I just went and looked at some part-time jobs that students could apply to show students examples of what could be available to them when they arrive. So like working at a grocery store or working at a restaurant or working in retail, these are all realistic places that students can work. But a part-time job is never a guarantee. You want to make sure you come in with your resume clean and professional. You want to make sure you have good communication skills so that if you're asked to do an interview, you're able to present yourself well. And then, you know, when you do these things right, your chance of getting a part-time job greatly increases. And in terms of full-time jobs, we actually have a new tab on our website where students are able to go in and see past surveys done to our students. So in this case, I selected the Business Management International Business Program at our Sarnia campus. And from there, you can go and see what % of the graduates from each of the past 3 years, 2020, 21, 22. We'll probably have the data for 23 coming in soon. And you can see that 96% of the graduates from this program are working full time. 72% of them are working in something related to the program. And then you can sort of get an estimate on what their salaries would be with what the minimum person said, maximum person said. So when you're looking at programs, it's always smart to check in on this page and see, you know, are graduates of this program able to find full-time employment? Cost of living in Sarnia. So I was mentioning that it is less expensive than other cities. For a one-bedroom apartment, you may be looking at $900 to $1,300 a month. 2 bedrooms, $700 to $900, and then it kind of goes down, right? The more people you're willing to live with, the less it's going to cost per room. The best data is probably on this chart on the right, where you can see that 58% of our students were actually paying between $300 and $500 a month, and only 18% paying more than $700. And then we also have a residence option as well. So for students who are interested in that, once they get their offer letter, they can reach out and apply for the residence. I will say it's a bit more costly than living off campus, but again, it depends. You know, if you're a younger student moving away from home for the first time, living in residence can be a really smart option to just be more comfortable and have your meals taken care of for you. And you can see the cost there is about $4,500 a semester, and you will have a roommate in that as well. So studying at the Ottawa campus. So this is a newer campus. Our first intake was in January of this year. It's a unique opportunity to study in the capital of Canada, Ottawa, the second largest city in Ontario and the number 2 city for quality of living in North America. This one is about a 4.5-hour drive from Toronto. So a lot of times students either fly into Toronto, then take a connecting flight to Ottawa, or they fly into Toronto and take a train to Ottawa. There's different options for getting there, but it's really not too far of a journey from the Toronto airport. And then if you were to do a connecting flight, it would just be a short flight over. And it is sort of a unique opportunity as there isn't very many public colleges in Ottawa. I know in the greater Toronto area, there's probably upwards of 15 different colleges students can select that have campuses there. But in Ottawa right now, there's only Algonquin College and then Lambton in Ottawa. So for students who are looking for maybe somewhere that is a larger city but isn't as saturated with other international students, Ottawa is a really good option for them. Speaking to most students who I know that attend that campus, they do already have part-time jobs, and I think it's a result of the lower competition at this in this city for those part-time positions. This is a campus that is only made up of postgraduate programs. So you can see a list here of the programs that we're currently offering in Ottawa. You can always check on our website. I don't think this is the latest screenshot, but you can check on our website and see very easily which intake programs are currently open for. And also our program lineup is always sort of changing based on which programs are more in demand, which jobs are more in demand. So it's always good to check on our website. Or if you're working with Sun-Cor, you can ask them as well. They're always up to date on our programs, and they can sort of let you know if there's any new programs that have been added and what's open and for which intake. Here's here's Ottawa on a map relative to Sarnia. So it's about a 6.5-hour drive from Sarnia, but if you're going to the Ottawa campus, it's never going to be necessary for you to go back to the main campus in Sarnia. But you can see it's a bit more north than Sarnia and Toronto, so it's a bit of a little bit colder than it would be if you did live in Sarnia, but not significantly so. You might see a little bit more snow in the wintertime. And then we also gave out the same survey to our students in Ottawa. Ottawa is a bit less expensive than Toronto, but it's going to be more expensive than smaller cities like Sarnia. So you can see here still the second highest cohort of our students paid between $300 and $500 at 41%, but more students in Ottawa were paying between the $500 and $700 amount, with only 11% still paying more than $700. So honestly, still a pretty reasonable rent price there for students in Ottawa as well. Some pictures of around the Ottawa city. The Parliament buildings are located there. You can see the downtown core, very built up. It's a very beautiful city, lots of different things going on, concerts, markets, festivals during the summertime. And then going into more of our tuition costs, so you can see sort of exactly what you're looking at. So as I was saying, Sarnia is less expensive to live in, but you're also going to be paying lower tuition fees as well. So for our business management program in Sarnia, it's only 22,000 Canadian dollars for a 2-year program. And then in Ottawa, it's $27,500 for a comparable program. And if you compare this to other colleges for a 2-year program, a lot of them are higher than $35,000, almost $40,000 for a 2-year program. So you're able to save, and I think I have this on my next slide. Yes. So here's one college that's in Toronto for the same business management program for 2 years. You're able to save about 13,000 Canadian dollars. And then on top of that, you're also saving a lot of money on your cost of living as well. So you might be saving upwards of 25,000 Canadian dollars over the course of your studies while getting essentially the exact same credential. The minimum guidelines for students who are thinking of applying to Lambton College, and again, Sun-Cor can always assess your profile as well after the fact and let you know which of our programs you would qualify for. But in general, we're looking for students who graduated with over 60% GPA equivalent in either their grade 12 studies or in their bachelor degree studies if they're applying for postgraduate. And we do have an English language requirement. So students can submit IELTS, they can submit PTE, they can submit TOEFL. And we also have an option of taking the Lambton College English placement test that's offered exclusively through our agents like Sun-Cor. So if you already know you have a pretty good level of English and you don't want to wait to take the IELTS or pay the money, and you're working with Sun-Cor, you can ask them to take the Lambton College English placement test, and that's free of cost to you. And then as long as you meet the minimum required score on that test, then you're able to be admitted to Lambton College. We look for students who have a background relevant to the program. So, if you graduated from accounting, we're probably not going to admit you to our artificial intelligence and machine learning program. We just want to make sure students' programs that they're enrolling in is relevant to either their career or their previous education, because that is going to give you a better chance of having your study permit granted and giving you a better chance of being able to do well academically in the program. And we can issue conditional offer letters based on pending language score. So if you have all your documents and we're just waiting for you to submit your IELTS or submit your placement test score, we can issue an offer letter in the meantime. And then as long as you meet that requirement, then you get the full unconditional offer. So the documents, we just need transcripts, degree certificates, the English proficiency score. We like to have a copy of your resume just to see, how does this student's profile match with the program they're applying for. And then if you have an employment gap that exceeds 2 years, so it's been 2 years since your most recent studies, then we like to see a letter of employment just to verify where you have been working after that time, so we know if it's relevant to the program you're applying for. So we're now open for January intake. Pretty much all of our programs are available. And then we will be opening later in the year for May 2025 intake. So thank you for listening. If anyone has any questions they want to drop in the chat for me, I'd be happy to answer them. But again, also beyond this session, you're in the right place. You're at the session with Sun-Cor. They're very knowledgeable. We've worked with them now for many years, and they can help you with from getting an offer letter to Lambton College, and then with all the services beyond that, with helping you come to Canada after the fact. So thank you very much for having me and for listening, and I will pass it back over to Nikki and Michael.
Thank you very much, Eric, for that very informative presentation. What I love with Lambton College is, for us as an agency, first is they process their letter of acceptance in less than a week. They can provide the letter of acceptance. But Eric, just a follow-up question. With the new policy with the attestation letter, is there any changes on the how fast can you or any process change to get that station letter?
Yes, that's a really good question. So obviously now, if you're applying for your study permit to come to Canada, part of the requirements are having a provincial attestation letter, and that is provided to you. It's provided to the college by the government, and then the college provides it to the student. So in order to get the provincial attestation letter from us, the student has to pay their first semester fees. So when you get an offer letter, you'll have about 6 to 8 weeks. There'll be a payment deadline on your offer letter. And then that payment deadline is to pay your first semester fees. So that's your deposit, so that we hold your seat, we know you're coming. And then once we get that payment received, then we can issue the provincial attestation letter back to you. So if you pay within the first week, that's great. We can have once you apply for the provincial attestation letter, we can get it back to you within 1 to 2 days. But if you wait until the end of your payment deadline to get it, then you're going to get it later than maybe somebody who pays it earlier, obviously.
Okay, which is good to know for everyone, because we cannot submit your application to the immigration. Is that right, Kuya Mikmik? If they don't have that attestation letter from the province.
Apart from the letter of acceptance, applicants would need to have the PAL, or the provincial attestation letter. And what's good about this is schools are the ones who are responsible to get it. So it's not actually an extra step for a study permit applicant to get it, because the schools will be the one providing that attestation letter. So for those who are starting out in their student or study permit journey, don't stress out on the provincial attestation letter. Lambton has a healthy allocation, so because it's a
Mm-hmm.
really reputable school, so that there's no problem with that one. And it's basically up to you to pick the program you want amongst the many programs available at Lambton College.
Yeah, they have all the programs, and these programs are these are the needs of especially for the province of Ontario, the city
Mm-hmm.
of Sarnia, of course, in Ottawa. So these are the programs that once you finish your program, there will be job opportunities in the area itself. You don't need to move to another city or another province, especially in Sarnia. What did they call the Sarnia city,
The
Eric? It's just like oil and gas or something.
There's an area just south of Sarnia that they call the Chemical Valley.
Okay.
So in
Chemical
the
Valley.
Chemical Valley, there's a lot of chemical plants, oil refineries,
Okay.
really big industry with opportunities for jobs for people in business and engineering and sciences. So yeah, it's called Chemical Valley.
And of course, Sarnia. This is just across to the U.S. border, which is it in Michigan or Detroit?
It's we're on the border with the state of Michigan. Detroit is a city in
Okay.
Michigan. It's about a
Mm-hmm.
1 hour drive once you cross the border
Okay.
from Sarnia.
There you go. So if you want to visit to the U.S., like how long does it take from Sarnia to drive to the U.S.?
Oh,
Like,
the city of Sarnia is right on the edge, so it just depends on what traffic is like going across the bridge. If there's no traffic, and depending what part of town you're in, it might only take you 5-10 minutes to get over into the United States.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it's so close to the border of the U.S. The same thing with with Iron in Niagara Falls, right across the border of Buffalo,
Mm-hmm.
right? And one thing I love with with Lambton College is the co-op term. If you notice, most of their co-op term, I think all of their co-op term are in the last term, right? So most of the employers, if you do well on your co-op time, by the way, co-op time, it could be paid co-op, right? And you'll be paid, if you paid minimum or above minimum, still you're earning while you're studying, right? So you're earning as much as like 5,000 to maximum 8,000 in 4 months. And the tuition fee that Eric shown you guys is around 23,000 for a 2 year program. Just imagine if you have a full time job in your co op time, you can less that like 5,000 less. But before that, most of the 2 year program of Lambton College, before you go to your third term, you have a 4 months, one term break
4 months.
where you can work full time.
Yep.
So you can earn another 5,000 to 8,000. This is unlimited hours as well. So only Lambton did this because they designed their curriculum or the terms that students can study for the first 2 terms and then take a break for 4 months and work, find an employer, and then after that go to the third term, and then your last term you can do your co-op. You can go back to the employer that you work with during your term break, and then make that as your co-op work, right? And after your co-op time, you don't need to go back to school because this is your last term. The company can employ you right away, right? And then not like other schools or another program or different schools or colleges, you need to go back after your co-op time, right? So some of them, once your their co-op is at around the third term. After the third term, you need to go back. If I am an employer and Eric is, I find you guys, okay, Eric, you're doing great. I want to employ you. You cannot say to me that I need to go back. You need to wait for 4 months. I need to go back to school, right? So, co-op time, this is the best time that you can showcase your skills and, perform your best foot forward and get that employment. So from co-op to employment, I mean, this is the asset of Lambton College. Aside that they are the most affordable public funded colleges or college, for sure you can get 100% postgrad work permit if you finish your program accordingly. So Michael can also share what are the things or when can a student not get their PGWP?
First of all, Lambton College is a DLI school, and it's also PGWP eligible. Um, as Nick mentioned, with Lambton College, it gives you the opportunity to virtually recover your cost of studies even before you graduate. If you're keen on doing that, the co-op is a tremendous opportunity to actually start earning even before you graduate. The semestral break in between the 2 year program. If you do the math, if you let's say you do two full-time jobs, you could actually make $16,000 if you want to do so. And but we're and if you're earning on your co-op 16 plus another 8,000 is 24,000. Potentially, you already have covered your entire tuition fee. That's roughly $23,000 for Lambton College. So that's really a good value proposition when it comes to recovering your cost of studies. So by the time you go into your PGWP stage, once you get your letter of completion after you finish your program, you apply for PGWP, you start working. Once you're at that stage, it's essentially you're already profiting from your cost of studies because you have already recovered your tuition fee. Um, and of course, as a graduate of a reputable school, you won't be working on entry level jobs. Colleges typically in Canada prepare you to be workforce ready. And if, let's say, you pick a business program, you'll be ready for a business related or a corporate life. If you pick more on a more technical program, you'd be qualified for that. So colleges, like for example, Lambton in Sarnia or in the Ottawa campus, they would offer programs that are not mandated by the government, but it's suggested that these are the programs you create to provide talent for what is needed in those environment. So this would be the ones that would be a perfect opportunity for you to establish your roots. Should you want to stay in Ontario, for example. So Eric, I'll give a perfect example of an ideal scenario for a Lambton graduate. This is a true to life story for one of our successful clients. Student graduated, finished the program last December from Lambton College, and then by January she was able to find a full time job offer. So, with a 2 year program and Lambton being one of the recognized colleges for Ontario, she qualified for OINP, International Student Stream. So, once again, she finished her studies in December, February, January, few weeks after, got a full time permanent job offer. By March, she got an invitation to apply for OINP, International Student Stream. By May, she got the nomination. By June, we submitted the PR application. So if you're counting the months, she's just 6 months into her technically PGWP life, but there was already a PR application submitted. So that's the ideal case scenario that a Lambton graduate could potentially achieve. And in all those time in that timeline, she has already most likely recovered her cost of studies because she was able to find a nice job. So once again, for those for our viewers thinking about studying in Canada, or if you want to go to a more affordable city, but you would still earn the same amount of money because there's like Kuya Nikki always mentioned, there's no provincial rate, there's no city rate. It's basically a standard low, medium, high wage rate for specific jobs. It's actually smart to pick Sarnia, for example, because it offers you the value proposition. You're earning the same credential, you're earning the same amount of money. But if you've seen the statistic that Erica showed, uh, 50% I think was paying around $500 a month on rent. That's so you're already you are on on the lower side of the cost of studies. You're also on the more affordable side on the cost of living on rent because that's bulk of the cost of living for your settlement. But the opportunities are also abundant because, like Eric mentioned, there might be restrictions which made less international students coming as of the moment. But that means there's more opportunities for you as well because the jobs would still be there, but the people coming in are less. So that means you have more opportunities to get those jobs. So it's just really a good time to go um, because I always tell people the more you prolong every birthday you get, you're losing 5 points on express entry alone. And there's always someone else out there getting the jobs that you wanted to get because they're ahead of you. So if you want to be proactive, I think now's a really good time to go.
That's a good story. Great example.
Yep.
Yeah. And what another thing, Eric, I just want to share. For Lambton College, just imagine the tuition fees around 23 to 27,000 for a 2 year program. Like the comparison that Eric's shown, this is the reality. If you go to schools in in Ottawa, Ontario. I mean, any schools in Ontario. If you compare Lambton College, there's a huge difference because the tuition fee is around uh, 35 to 38,000 for a 2 year program. That's average, right? But Lambton is only offering between 23 to 20. They say 28,000, but still there's two chances to earn money during your term break for 4 months and during your co-op time to recover those costs, right? So you are already earning while you're studying, and with the affordability of the cost of living. And just to share, this coming October, Eric, if you know, there's going to be a minimum, I mean, a wage increase for Ontario from $16. It will become a $17.10. So this is a huge, but we always share this to our clients that the cost of living, no matter where you are, maybe in Toronto or in Sarnia, it all matters on your lifestyle. If you know how to, take care, or I mean share, I mean save money, you can earn more, right? But no matter if you're in Sarnia, if you still, spend more money eating outside, you cannot, just say that no. But once again, the cost of living, it will all be depending on you, right? And also,
Mm-hmm.
what Lambton can offer is, quality of education. We have a lot of graduates from Lambton College who are permanent resident right now, and also who are, doing good in their field, right? And that's why Lambton has the most number of Filipino, as far as I know. The Filipino population have grown for probably for the past 2 years. Is that correct, Eric?
At Lambton College, yes. Yeah. I mean, I think if you look 5 years ago, we didn't have very many Filipino students at all, and now it was up over 800 students.
Wow.
Yes. Yes, and with the new policy right now, if you're a couple, you can only bring your partner with you. But if you want to take a master's program or doctorate program, but me and Michael are here in the Philippines to educate them that did immigration did not mention that during your postgrad work permit you're not allowed to bring your spouse with you, right? There was no
Mm-hmm.
announcement, so we need to re-educate them, or maybe with the affordability of the tuition fee, maybe we can ask them if you really want to come together, you can both study, right?
Well, technically, it's a possibility. Yes.
Right, because they're gonna be both of them is gonna be earning points for studying, both of them will
Mm-hmm.
be points for working, right? And not only points, experience in their CRS score, but also earning some money to recover from the costs. So
Yep.
once again, we would like to invite everyone to please join us this coming August 10. Lambton College will be there. This is going to be a study work leave migrate to Canada Expo. So Kuya Mikmik, our licensed immigration consultant, will discuss the different pathways for permanent residency. So once again, August 10, it's a Saturday at Fairmont, Makati, from 12 noon to 5 p.m. Lambton College will be there. They will be joining us as well. So if you have any questions, you can always feel free to ask question to the Lambton College booth. And let me just try to refresh. Yeah, another question, Eric. Michael mentioned that you do have a good allocation numbers for your um, January intake, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
So you guys will not have a problem in getting the attestation letter. And to process that letter of acceptance, please send us an email at suncor.com. I mean, send us an email at apply at sun-core.com. And of course, if you need help, deciding which program, we do have a one-on-one consultation as an education consultant. just visit sun-core.com. We will help you narrow down your option, which program and which intake. And of course, we'll also help you if you want to proceed with our services. Michael Corrales, as an RCIC, will also assess your profile for your permanent residency pathway. And for Sun-Cor, we will waive the application fee. We will waive the IELTS, of course, through the Lambton in-house exam. We are allowed to do that in behalf of Lambton College. We will do the in-house English exam, which is, for Filipinos, it's not a problem for that exam. And any other updates, Eric, that you want to discuss or share, like for the new campus, Ottawa? Those programs that you shown is going to be, all of them are going to be offered for January, and is it offered also for May intake for next year?
Yes, I mean, we do adjust our program lineup sometimes, intake to intake. Like, we want to make sure we have the most up-to-date relevant programs. So it could change a little bit, but all the programs will be, like, all the programs we offer in Ottawa are open for every intake. Whereas in Sarnia, we have a bit smaller intakes in January and May, and then we do a large intake in September.
I see. So once again, if you are interested, especially in Journey in Canada, please do join our free event in Fairmont, Makati this August 10. So for Lambton College, we will waive the application fee. If not, we will reimburse the application fee. And once again, the IELTS is not necessarily needed, but you just need to take the in-house English exam. And most of the programs are post-grad. It means that you need to have a degree in the Philippines in order for you to take that program. But like I said, we can help you assess your profile if you are eligible or not to take the program. If not, we can have another program which is eligible for you. But by the end of the day, we need to make sure that we can prove to the immigration officer that your main purpose here in Canada is to study, and that's the job of Kuya Mikmik as an RCIC, and to help you plan for your journey here in Canada, not only for your study visa but for your permanent residency. Okay, so let me just check if there are any questions. If not, but Eric, thank you very much for your time. I know you're a busy guy, and I hope you can visit the Philippines. I know you just visited our office in Manila. You already visited our office in Bohol.
Bohol, I think. Yeah.
Yes. The only one office you haven't visited was in our office in Ontario, in Niagara
Right.
Falls, and our office in Alberta, which is in Calgary as well. So we have Michael is there in Calgary, and I'm also in Niagara Falls. So if you have time, please do visit our wonderful office in Ontario, and we'll be happy to welcome you. And I'm gonna tour you over there.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for having me, and enjoy your time in the Philippines. I'm jealous. I'm looking forward to my next time I get to go back.
Yeah, we're hoping everything will be back to normal soon. Then again, this is just a small hiccup for the immigration, but of course, immigration wants the best for Canada, and with the partnership with Lambton and Sun-Cor, for sure we can, help our Filipinos to come to Canada and study with Lambton College.
Yes, sounds great. Thanks again, guys, for being great partners for us.
All right.
Thank you
Thank you
very
so
much.
much,
Take
Eric.
care. Stay safe.
Take
Yeah,
care.
take care. Thank you.
Ayan, ang hirap palang mag-English. Bakit na po pala? Alam mo yung pagdating mo dito sa Pilipinas, nababalik mo yung
Tagalog ka na.
Tagalog mo, nagbibisaya ka, tapos nandiyan na naman tayo. Yeah, but thank you very much sa mga lahat ng viewers po namin. Kami po yung nagpapasalamat. May mga jet lag pa po kami. Hanggang
Oo
ngayon
nga.
po, nga yung consultation time ko rin, hindi ko binalik sa Philippine time. So nagtatrabaho ako ng gabi. Yan. But yun, we're getting ready na po. Lambton College po is one of the most affordable. No? Imagine niyo po,
Yes.
33,000 yung tuition fee niya for 2 years program. Pero Di ba? Kung may chance ka makakuha ka ng full-time job during your break time, you can earn 3,000 to 4,000 per month. Kung apat na buwan
Yes.
yun, imagine mo, 12 to 6,000, 16,000 yun. This is in your break month, in term break. But
Yeah.
during your job time naman, is another 4 months work. So imagine mo yun, kung makakuha ka ng
Marami ako, Kuya Nicky, mga classmate noon, mga nag-double job eh. Yung iba naman,
yes.
parang almost triple job na kasi yung weekend nagtatrabaho din sa sobrang sipag. So talagang ang Pilipino kasi alam naman natin masipag, gusto agad mabawi yung mga gastos. So may opportunity talaga if pinlano nyo ng tama.
Yes.
Of course, you have to be healthy all the time kasi puhunan nga natin yung katawan natin, yung lakas,
Mhm.
yung pag-iisip. So apart from being financially ready, you would also want to be mentally and physically healthy para sa pag-abroad kasi nga po new environment, new weather, new routines. So talagang mas maganda yung paghandaan ninyo. Hindi lang yung proof of funds, kailangan yung inyo ding pangangatawan or even your spirituality para lang po pag nag-abroad kayo ay talagang ready na kayo.
Yes. And of course, ang pagpupunta po dito sa Canada, lagi namin itong pinag-uusapan ni Kuya Mikmik. During sa isang interview nga sa Open News, sinabi nga niya na tayo ang dayuhan dito, no? Hindi po ang Canada mag-a-adjust sa atin, tayo po mag-a-adjust, no? Wag po nating ipilit yung gusto natin kung hindi pa naman panahon, at of course, wag din natin ikumpara yung sarili natin sa iba. No, you are coming here as a newcomer. Expect the worst, no? Wag po tayong mag-expect na kung manager tayo sa Pilipinas, managerial position yung makukuha natin. Kung IT tayo, dapat IT job lang. No, be open-minded po. Maraming work dito sa Canada. It's just a matter of applying po, no? Yung iba, kuya, 10 na po yung pinag-submit ko na resume. Wala pa rin ako nahanap na trabaho. Kulang pa po yun. No, gawin mong 30, gawin mo 50. Huwag kang huminto hanggat hindi ka makahanap. So,
Ayan.
commerce, mag-ingat po kayo, especially sa mga new policy right now. Huwag po tayong basta-bastang maniwala na
Mhm.
sa immigration. Andyan po si Kuya Mikmik po with regarding sa permanent residency po na question. Please feel free to book po, no? Just visit his website, studyworklivemigrate.canada.com, or you can email him kung meron kayong mga urgent need po. Info@studyworklivemigrate.canada.com. Marami na pong lumalapit sa amin ngayon na nasa malalang sitwasyon na. Ang ayaw natin mangyari yon. If you have time po, no, habang okay pang status po ninyo, lumapit na po kayo. No, hindi lang si Kuya any immigration consultant, just make sure po na yung immigration na consultant na lalapitan niyo po is, alam mo yun, experience, maganda yung background, reputable, and of course, i-double check niyo po lahat, yung reviews, lahat. And make sure po na consultant po talaga siya. No? Kami ni Kuya Mikmik, magkaiba po kami. Ako ay isang education, ayan po. I cannot discuss about immigration. So lahat ng mga consultation ko po, alam niyo po, sinasabi ko palagi, from the start, I'm not allowed to talk about immigration. And of course, yung mga tulad ng ginagawa namin ni Kuya Mikmik, every Tuesdays and Fridays, nagla-live kami. We want you guys to take advantage of this. Kasi nga, meron tayong RCIC that can answer your questions. No? And speaking of question, meron tayong isang client pro, si Reyes Intal Jera.
Ayan, si Miss Jera. Ayan po, nakakatuwa naman si Miss Jera. See you on September. Thank you, Sun-Cor team and Kuya Mikmik's team for, so this is yung Study Work to Migrate Canada natin, the immigration arm of Sun-Cor, yung tinutukoy ni Miss Jera for helping us throughout our process. Very helpful. Shout out to Miss Tracy. Ayan, yung mga dedicated staff na naka-assign sa kanila. Ayan po, salamat po.
Si Antonio Vergara Toy.
Yes, Sun-Cor baby din si Sir Toy Toy. Siya po ay sa sa Edmonton naman to.
Yeah, sabi nga na dito. Salamat Sun-Cor. Another good news. Di po kami nagkamali. Nilapitan tatak Sun-Cor talaga. Antonio Toy po ito. Napalitan na name ko.
Ayan po. Salamat po, Sir Toy Toy. Ayan.
So, once again po, tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, huwag po kayong lumapit na malala na. No? If there's a chance po, yes, there's a fee, but there's a reason po bakit may fee kasi it's a professional consultation. Pero deductible naman po yun if you want to proceed with the services naman po. No? Wag nating tipirin.
Tsaka Kuya Nikki, siguro, ang pinaka-value added sa consultation kasi, there are moments na may mga tao magpapakonsult, fixated na sila dun sa pathway nila, only to find out there's something else better for you. So, perfect example, kunyari, merong isang tao, fixated siya dun sa program na gusto niya, only to find out there's a better program na mas angkop sa kanya. So, talagang parang sabi niya, Kuya, ba't DIYer kasi ito? Kuya, nade-deny ako lagi dito sa program na ito, pero alam ko ito yung perfect sa akin. But after assessing ano yung background, ano yung ginagawa niya, ano yung tinapos, ano yung naging trabaho, there actually are other options that would make a better sense to the application as a whole. So yun yung mga ganung pagkakataon. Or sometimes, Kuya Nikki, yung lagi natin sinasabi, focus sa student to PR pathway. Qualified na pala sa iba pa. Qualified na pala sa category-based selection, sa provincial nomination.
Yes.
So, marami pong opportunity. Marami talaga. So, siguro Kuya Nikki, masabi natin, tayo lang yung agency nagsasabing, huwag ka mag-aral kasi may iba pang mas maganda sa'yo.
Kaya po, this coming August 10 po, no? If you
Ayan.
have time po, we will really want you to join us po sa August 10 sa Fairmont, Makati. Kasi nga po, i-discuss po namin lahat what are the possible pathways for permanent residency coming to Canada as a student, as a tourist, as a worker. No? At yung mga bagong pathway, yung caregiver pathway, i-discuss po namin yan lahat po. No? Nang libre na walang bayad. And of course, nakita niyo po yung video namin, may mga laptops po kaming ipaparaffle sa mga nag-join. So feel free to join po August 10 sa Fairmont, Makati from 12 noon to 5 p.m. Pwede po kayo mag-walk-in po. No? But if gusto niyo po manalo ng laptop, please do register. And of course, magkita-kita po tayo doon. Si Kuya Mikmik dumating na po. Na-cancel po yung flight niya because of Typhoon Carino.
Typhoon sa Taiwan na yan.
Yeah, but thank God po, nandito na po kami. Thank you for all the prayers po. Magkasama na kami kanina ni Kuya Mikmik, but we need to do our best to prepare for our upcoming event po this coming August 10. August 17, nandyan po kami sa Pampanga po naman.
Ayan.
No? Sa Century Hotel.
Yan, due to popular requests, Pampanga naman po. Century Park Hotel sa bato kayo Nikki, sa Angeles City. Ito, medyo kabisado ni Kuya Nikki.
Bago po yan. No? Yan. Of course, magkita-kita tayo mga kabalen. Libre po to, walang bayad. And from 12 noon to 5 p.m. it's a Saturday as well. And going to, from there, sa 24, August 24 po, nandun po kami ni Kuya Mikmik sa office naman ng Sun-Cor sa Bohol. No, it's not a big event, pero it's gonna be like a meet and greet event lang po before we fly back to Canada. No? End of this month, end of August po, nasa Canada na po kami ni Kuya Mikmik. Doon naman po kami tutulong sa ating mga nangangailangan nating mga kababayan, lalo na yung mga bagong dating na hindi pa alam kung anong gagawin or napabayaan ng mga agency. So lagi namin sinasabi ito na if nag-agency po kayo, please ask them your permanent resident pathway. No? Yung PR pathway ninyo, tanungin nyo na sila kung paano. Kasi pagdating nyo sa Canada, ang dami pong walang alam, mga dumating. Hindi nga nila alam ano yung TRS score. No? Kasi nga po, ang study visa does not guarantee permanent residency. Kaya maawa po kayo sa sarili ninyo. Make sure ang laki pong pera ang ginastos po natin. Make sure po alam natin po ano yung gera na lalabanan natin pagdating dito sa Canada. Ayun. So, Kuya Mikmik, invite mo sila ulit sa ating upcoming event.
Ayan. Muli po mga kababayan, dito tayo August 10, ilang araw na lang. August 10 po mga kababayan sa Fairmont, Makati. Malapit ito sa, saan nga ba ito malapit? Sa ano yung mall na yun, Kuya Niki?
Landmark,
Landmark,
Glorieta.
Glorieta, Greenbelt. So nandun tayo thereabouts. So there's something to do for each member of the family. Kung kayong mga magulang, attend sa event namin. Yung mga bata, manood sa sine, mag-malling, or baliktad. Yung mga bata ang mag-attend, yung mga magulang ang mag-relax muna habang na uma-attend ng seminar yung mga anak nila. Para po kayo ay maging well-informed when it comes to the world of Canadian immigration po. We'll talk about many things. It's a bigger event. More information will be given to you compared sa Balikbayan 2022 at 2023. Pag-uusapan po natin tourist visa, student visa, work visa. Pag-usapan din po natin yung mga caregiver, for example, provincial nomination. So there's a lot of information for different walks of life, and of course, meron tayong mga fun and games na may mga papremyo tayo tulad ng laptop. So abangan po
Saka
natin yan.
marami pa, may mga pasalubong pa kami.
Ayan.
So yun. So once again po, maraming salamat for joining us sa ating evening with the Kuyas this Tuesday evening dito sa Pilipinas. And this coming Friday, I think wala tayong this coming Friday, bro. Na bisita,
Yes.
but wala kaming bisita, but we'll try to check po kung maganda yung signal namin ni Kuya Mikmik. We'll try to do our live session po. But
Yes.
abangan niyo po yung mga postings po ng Sun-Cor po. Just visit our website sa sun-cor.com at saka yung Facebook po.
Ayan.
Sun-Cor
Unlimited.
Unlimited. And of course,
Ayan.
if you are nandito na kayo sa Canada, we always recommend you guys to join yung aming group, Pinoy International Student na Facebook group in Canada. And also ang ating rental group din, Rentals and Housing for Pinoy International Students in Canada. And of course, ang ating immigration Facebook page ng Canadian Corrales. Ito po, Study,
po.
Work, Live, Migrate Canada. Please do follow and like po ang ating Study, Work, Live, Migrate Canada na Facebook page para maging updated po kayo pag may mga bagong announcement po we will post. Ayan. So, thank you very much once again mga kababayan, and of course, stay safe po kayo until our next live session. Stay safe po kayo
Ayan.
lahat.
God bless po. Stay safe. See you soon.
Bye-bye!